आज मीम्स बन रहे, जल लीजिए.
Viva, you know, I'll be very honest with you. When I did Viva, half the times I used to be like, ये मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? क्या हो रहा है bro? Like, what's going on? Because I was a big city kid, I'll be very honest with you. मेरे को आधी चीज़ें समझ ही नहीं आती थी. I was like, ये जल जल and all that. What is this? And then there were those songs which were sung in that very kind of very like an older man's voice and all. And I was like, ये मैं कैसे करूँगा? I was doing like Shakira way, Shakira way, Shakira way and all that, I was doing all those, and here it was मुझे हक है. I was like, bro, like how is this gonna land?
It's been 20 years, Shahid Kapoor. And let me tell you that 20 saal is not easy because 20 saal means 2 decades and staying relevant for 2 decades. So, सबसे पहले Radio Nasha पर आने के लिए and to celebrate this moment with me, thank you so much.
Not at all, thank you. It's my pleasure, and don't make it sound any longer than it already is, man.
Let's start from the beginning. Memories. I'm going to throw your films at you. Favorite memories. Ishq Vish. नहीं यार. पहले दिल तो पागल है.
Dil to pagal hai. I have no favorite memories. My hair was bouncing around too much and I was spoiling the shot. So I was really nervous, and I had just joined Shamak's troupe, so I was probably one of the rookies there. And so Dil to pagal hai, I was just nervous all the time. I was a nervous wreck, just hoping I don't mess things up.
Alright, ताल सबको याद है.
Yeah.
ढका था आपने ऐश्वर्या राय के चेहरे को.
और वो टाइम उस दिन ना मेरा ना nobody knows this, but उस दिन मेरा एक्सीडेंट हो गया था. I used to ride my motorcycle और मैं मोटरसाइकिल से गिर गया था. So I remember I had reached the set very flustered because I had fallen off and I was like, ये क्या हो गया मेरे साथ and all. And that was the day that this happened with me.
Yeah.
So I'll always remember it as the worst and the best day of my life.
Wow.
At that time.
And the rest of us, the ones who knew you. We're like, hey, that's Shahid. That's amazing. Yeah. Aryan, that song.
Yeah. That was fun.
Tera hi chehra.
Yeah, that was fun.
Dog,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was fun. We shot at Raheja Classic, which is still very much there. It was brand new at that time, and I remember we were shooting in there, and it was all fun. No specific memory as such, but I enjoyed doing it very much.
और वो बाल.
हाँ वो बाल और वो कुत्ता जिसको ना मुझसे ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस मिलती थी. लोग बोलते थे इट्स सो क्यूट मुझे लगता मेरे बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. फिर बाद में दे टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट डॉग. So I was jealous of the dog for a bit.
Oh my God, Ishq Vish, which was I think very ahead of its time. आज लोग कहते हैं बेटी वेरोनिका आर्ची, लेकिन you all did it back then.
Yeah.
So उसकी क्या यादें हैं?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think we were going through a time where most of the actors who were doing young college romances had children that age. You know what I mean? So I just feel that Ishq Vish was like this really honest kind of film where Ken wanted to just make a real film about real college kids who actually are college kids and who will speak and talk and behave like, actually how kids behave in college. And that just connected,
Yeah.
And we were all a bunch of newcomers. And I remember उससे पहले 1-1.5 साल ना कोई पिक्चर नहीं चली थी. And then I think our film came, and then Andaz and our film. These were the 2 films that came out in May, which suddenly, were hit films, and people started going back into theaters. And then it was one of the best years we had in Hindi films that year. So, of course, it was great to kind of, be one of the first films, even though we were newcomers.
Yeah.
मुझे तो एक्चुअली उस टाइम पे लोग बोल रहे थे तो पिक्चर रिलीज ही नहीं होगी, बिकॉज इतना खराब टाइम चल रहा है, स्टार की फिल्में नहीं चल रही, तो ये न्यूकमर की पिक्चर क्या चलेगी. सो ऑफ कोर्स, एंड आई रिमेंबर माय स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट मेमोरी, एंड आई हैव सेड इट अ फ्यू टाइम्स ऑलवेज, इज we used to have Fame Ad Labs at that time.
Yes.
And so I had gone at night because the next day my film was going to release, and I was driving around because नींद तो आने वाली नहीं. So I had this friend of mine, his name is Rahul, and he had a new car. He was a rich boy. I didn't. So he said, "चल मैं तुझे drive पे लेके जाता हूँ." And we went for a drive, and we saw that there are those electrical boxes, those red ones which are on the road. And there was one right in front of Fame Ad Labs, and there was this dude who was sticking some posters on it. So I was like, hey, ruk. This is like 3 a.m. And it was my film's poster.
Oh my God.
Okay, he was putting Ishq Vish ka poster on it. And I walked up to him and I said, ye main aapke saath stick karu? So he said, karo. He was sleepy and whatever. So I stuck that poster. I don't think he recognized me. And I don't think he cared who was on that poster also. He was just doing his job. But I remember that was like a really fun memory of mine, that I stuck my own poster at 3 a.m. on the eve of the beginning of where I am now after 20 years.
That's what time does, right? अभी 2020 के बाद we came to the same place जब हमने कहा कि लोग फिल्में नहीं देख रहे हैं,
Yeah.
थिएटर में नहीं आ रहे,
जी.
and you tell me the story today and I'm like, you saw it in your first film.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, we all have to, and it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay to do that again and again. It's okay to. It's actually great. I think when times get tough, it's like it's time to refuel your engine.
Yes.
You know, you get an opportunity to kind of go back to the beginning and stick to the basics and do it all over again.
Your last film, of course, before we run out of time, because it's never enough time to talk to you. Viva, आज memes बन रहे, जल लीजिए.
Viva, you know, I'll be very honest with you. When I did Viva, half the times I used to be like, ये मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? क्या हो रहा है bro? Like, what's going on? Because I was a big city kid, I'll be very honest with you. मेरे को आधी चीज़ें समझ ही नहीं आती थी. I was like, ये जल and all that. What is this? And then, there were those songs which were sung in that very, like, kind of very, like an older man's voice and all. And I was like, ये मैं ऐसे करूँगा. I was doing like Shakira ve, and all that, I was doing all those, and here it was, Mujhe Hak Hai. I was like, bro, like, how is this going to land? And so, but, I had huge respect for Surajji.
Sure.
And so, I just kind of followed him. And I was like, आप बताओ क्या करना है, sir? And he would tell me, Shahid, just do this. Shahid, just do this. Shahid, trust me, just do this. And I did it. And I did it with all my honesty, of course. And then, it was the day of the release of Viva. I remember we were promoting all over. So, and it was a very small budget film, his last film, Main Prem Ki Diwani, had not done well.
Yeah.
And that was that time when, a lot of cinema that was doing well was that more that front-footed, like, College, Young, and, Dharma and Yash Raj, and that was doing really well. So he went completely reverse after that and made a very conservative film about a very core audience in our country, which hadn't been addressed for the longest period of time. And he knew that that was his comfort zone, that was his playing ground. And he went back to his playing ground and said, this is what I am going to do. And he made it so purely for that. He did not push any tropes in there which could be, commercial or which were
Cool.
working at that time, or cool, for example, right? He was just real about it. And I remember he said that, Shahid, we will know by 3 o'clock and then I'll tell you how well this film will do on the day of release. So we're flying back, and in the flight he came. I was sitting separately. He was a little away. He came and sat next to me and he said, Shahid, now I'll talk to you up after 10 weeks because the film has been accepted. And then it was the last Silver Jubilee we've seen. So imagine the understanding that he had of his audience. He was like, if my film is accepted, then it will not stop. If it's not accepted, then it might, it might not do so well. So I want to see, is it a yes or a no? Because with him, it's never like something in the middle.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As I said, it's always interesting to speak to actors when it's milestone time. And I think that this year will be a milestone for you. But from all of us at Radio Nasha, we really, really root for you. And we'll continue to do that. Thank you so much मेरे show पर आने के लिए और मुझे ये वक्त देने के लिए.
Not at all. And these words mean a lot. So thank you so much for that.
Thanks, Shahid.
Radio Nasha.